Hey there, Internet. Welcome back to episode 4 of my Pokemon Scarlet and Violet miniseries. Today we're going to be talking about the stories of Paldea. First general impression here, I think they're great. I think the story of this game was... I say great for everything, don't I? I've said everything's great. The Pokemon are great. The designs are great. I think that this story was very engaging. It was very fun. I enjoyed going through each of the different storylines. I went through them not independently. I kind of bounced around. So I had a good time. I didn't go in the quote-unquote proper order. I went around to different things as I felt like they should be. For the most part, I was spot on. There were a couple times I went out of order, quote-unquote order. Yeah, it never felt wrong to go to a place you weren't supposed to at the incorrect time. Yeah, so let's jump right into this. Let's start with the gym leaders, because that's the least exciting. You meet Nemona at the very beginning. She asks you to be your friend, be your rival. Once you start your treasure hunt, you get to go through the 8 gyms. You battle the gym leaders as you go. As I mentioned before, I liked most of them. The challenge of the teams were not that difficult. Iono was the hardest for me. I think a lot of people say that just because of her team it's pretty well thought out. You go through the 8 gyms, make your way all around Paldea, and then you make your way to the Elite Four. As standard, you have your little test in the beginning with Rika. I failed the first time because I couldn't remember any gym leaders' names or where they were from. And then after that, you take on the Elite Four. That's pretty much it. That's the end of that storyline. You become champion, a champion ranked trainer, and then you battle Nemona, and it was fine. It was a good challenge. It was fun to have to go around to the different gyms. I don't think I lost to any leader, so that was a good storyline. Nothing crazy, nothing out there. Very standard. Next is Starfall Street. This one I think is my favorite as someone who was bullied growing up. When you start the game, you're going up to the school and you meet Penny, who's being picked on by some Team Star kids. You help her out. I forgot to mention in the beginning, there's heavy spoilers for these next couple stories. For Starfall Street and Path of Legends and The Way Home, there'll be spoilers. So you've been warned. You can stop watching now if you haven't played. It's your own discretion. So you meet Penny. You get a call from Cassiopeia. She is friends with Penny. She wants you to go through and raid all of the Team Star bases. Basically defeat the leaders so that they will go back to school and stop this whole Team Star business. Because basically Team Star are kids who were bullied and kind of had to make their own group in order to fight off the bullies, find their own community to feel safe. And they did, and they hatched this plan to fight back against the people who were bullying them. It went south. They ended up looking like they were the bullies. People don't really like them. They think they're the big bads. But so basically you go through each base, have your little auto battle section, and then you fight the leaders. And they all are very challenging. I had more challenge with these than any part of the rest of the game. I did not lose until Airy, but they were all really hard fights. I definitely had to use items, but it was a very welcome challenge. I very much enjoyed this story. Challenge-wise, content-wise, it was very good. I very much liked learning their backstories, who they were, the 5 leaders, who they were. You could kind of infer why they were being bullied, and I think that it was very well done. I did not want to rush through those bases because I did not want it to end. Next is the Path of Legends, our Arven storyline. Oh, I forgot to mention. Back it up a little bit. Once you defeat all 5 Team Star bases, then you get to meet with Cassiopeia. You learn her true identity, which is Dr. Clovell. Just kidding. He wants you to think that. No, it's actually Penny and her team of Eevees. Very cute. She was not a challenge, though. The rest of them were. You fight her, you learn everything. Team Star has a nice reunion because none of them have met Penny or Cassiopeia before, so it was a nice little reunion. And you can interact with Penny in the school after the end of the game, and you can kind of see her interacting with all the Team Star people. It's really cute. Okay, now on to Arven and Team Path of Legends. You meet him at the beginning once you rescue your ride Pokemon, Koraidon or Miraidon. Find out that he used to take care of it because his parent found it or took care of it or whatever, came through the little machine they're working on. Yeah, he kind of is mean at the beginning, but he still asks for your help because you beat him in a battle, and he figured he can trust you, as you do with most people in the Pokemon world, right? He asked you to help him find the 5 Herba Mysticas. We don't know why. He just found this book in his parents' lab, wants to find them because there's some special herb. Later, you find out as you're going through, you battle a couple of the Titans, you find out that his partner Mobostiff is sick. He needs these Herba Mysticas to try to make him better, recover him, because normal medicines don't work. And lo and behold, as you go along, you fight the Titans, which all were very good. I think they weren't that difficult. In my Scarlet playthrough, I maybe lost a Pokemon once or twice. In this Violet playthrough, I'm working on the last 2, so I fought 3 of them so far. In the last 2, I have wiped, but Arvin finished the fight, and it counted. So thank you, my dude. That video will be coming whenever I finish it. Yeah, so as you fight the Titans, you find these Herba Mysticas, and they are what gives your ride Pokemon its extra powers to sprint, jump higher, fly, or glide, swim, and climb. But they also are healing his partner dog. It's very sweet. I definitely shed a few tears when the final cutscene plays and he picks up the ball and starts playing, and it was very sweet. Pulled on the heartstrings a little bit there. So yeah, it's the second favorite story. Arvin's storyline kind of continues. So this is like part 1 of his storyline, and that leads into the way home. Once you've completed all 3, then you get to go to Area 0 because Arvin's parent asks you to come down and help them because they're stuck in their research base. Before we get to that, what I really liked about these stories is that all of them were very small stakes, right? Become a champion rank trainer, find 5 herbs, defeat 5 delinquent kids who aren't going to school. Like, nothing was world-changing, world-ending. It was very small. You didn't feel like you were some grand hero. You were just the right person at the right time who had the skills to do these tasks, right? It could have been anybody. I'm sure hundreds of people have achieved champion rank. These Titan Pokemon, yes, were causing a problem, but any of the champion ranked trainers, or even just normal trainers, because we weren't champion ranked when we fought them first, right, could handle them. I don't know why they weren't handled beforehand. Kita's just roaming around talking to us in the gyms instead of dealing with the world's problems. But yeah, so it's very refreshing. It's not, if I don't complete something, the world's not going to end, right? I can take my time, I can wander around, explore, and then get to things when I get to them. And that's fine, right? That's the whole point of the treasure hunt, right? Is to explore the world and take it at your own pace. Find your treasure, so to say. So once you complete all 3 of those, that leads to the way home storyline. This one was not talked about in the promotional stuff, so I did not know what to expect. The cutscene getting on to your ride Pokemon to fly down into the crater is really cute. It's great. So basically, Arvin's parent asks you to come down to the crater and help them. They're trapped inside the research base, and they need you to go to the 4 outposts to press the locks to unlock them so that they can get out. You go through the crater, you see all the Paradox Pokemon. Arvin, Penny, and Nimona come with you. They like interact and talk amongst themselves as you're running through the crater and whatnot. It's a beautiful place. It looks fantastic. I mean, most of the world is huge, but this one area is really big. It's very lush and green. It's very pretty. I was awestruck when I first saw it. And I really so you're not allowed to use your ride Pokemon when you first get there. And I think that was a very smart decision. I know it makes sense story-wise because your ride Pokemon's scared to be back there because that's where it came from, yada yada. Not being able to ride on them and just having to walk everywhere is great. It really led to the immersion of the place, the grandiose scale of it. So you go through the research bases, you turn on the switches, you kind of learn a little bit about what's going on. I think it's base number 3 that's destroyed. You could tell that there was some sort of fight there. And then you unlock all the switches. So you get down to the bottom. You go inside, because all your partners are fending off Pokemon. You get inside and you meet Arvin's parent, Sada or Turo. And they tell you that they have been working on a time machine. That time machine is bringing either Pokemon from the future or from the past. And those are what you have been fighting outside and as you've made your way through. Then they also tell you that the original human person died many years ago. and that they are an AI meant to look like them and act like them and everything. Some people have said that they were kind of expecting it, or they could call it from earlier on. I did not. I thought it was a fantastic twist. I go into stories with a very open mind, so like stuff like this could be a very common trope or whatever, but to me it was a huge revelation. It was great. The emotions that were evoked when that happened, and then they take you to the time machine and they ask you to turn it off. You have to put your book in to turn off the machine, but they tell you, I am going to have to fight you. I'm programmed to do this. If someone tries to turn it off, I will have to stop you. Oh, and this whole scene in the chamber or whatever, and basically they're like, he or she says, please stop me, or something like that. Oh, I got chills. And then they shot up into the air on the crystal and just rained down Master Balls with these Paradox Pokemon. Oh, it was so good. This fight was my favorite fight from the whole thing. The music is fantastic. The scenery is fantastic. The build up to it is fantastic. Oh, it was just a masterpiece of a fight. And I lost the first time, which was fantastic because I got to see it all again, and I got to experience it a second time, and I loved it. And I will continue to love it. I would play the game over multiple times just to see that ending and have that final fight again. I am somebody who does not finish games often, but I would put in the time to finish this game just for that fight again. And then when you win finally, and Arvin comes down and finds out that his parent is no longer alive and it's just an AI. Oh, as someone who has lost a parent, it was rough. I think a fantastic way to end the game. Just the revelation in Arvin's mind that something that he knew for a long time to finally be conceptualized and shown. So I felt for him. He had a rough life, and with his dog and his parents, and oh, my dog just opened the door and got in. Hi, what's up? How are you? You dog, you're just a silly dog. Anyways, great way to wrap up the story. We brought all the characters together from the 3 different storylines for the final, I don't know how long it took, hour. It was great. I say great a lot. I'm sorry, I don't have better words. I'm not an English major. But yeah, this story overall was one of my favorites. As most people do, don't pay attention to the story of Pokemon games too much, but over the past couple, I have been trying to be more invested, a little more mindful of what's going on. This one was just blew me away. 8 out of 10 on my story scale. My dog's barking. It's fantastic, and I look forward to what this Pokemon team can do in the future with DLC for the story or for games coming forward. If they keep the scale small like they did, I think it'll be fantastic. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my opinions on the Pokemon story of Paldea, Generation 9, Scarlet and Violet, whatever you want to call it. Like I've said throughout this, I thought this story was great, fantastic. The 3 storylines coming together to the final one, wonderful. So yeah, thank you for watching and listening. If you enjoyed, come along. I've got one more episode of this series, and then we will be getting started on a challenge run into Pokemon Violet. So stay tuned if you're interested in that. If not, I thank you for your time, and I'll catch you later. My name is Devin, but you can always call me Purple.